Love her or hate her, Teresa Giudice has built a legacy so dramatic and so unforgettable that even the bravest Housewives fans brace themselves before watching her scenes. Just when viewers think every twist in her life has been exposed, a new chapter rises, louder, messier, and more shocking than anything before it. And right now, Teresa is living the kind of chapter that keeps Bravo fans awake at night, refreshing their feeds for updates. Before we dive in, if you love deep dive Bravo stories, make sure you hit like and subscribe right now so you never miss the next twist. Teresa joined The Real Housewives of New Jersey in 2009, but she didn't just join the cast, she became the franchise. From table-flipping moments that changed pop culture to emotional family feuds that split a show apart, she allowed the world to witness her marriage, her motherhood, and her most vulnerable moments. Fans watched her grow, fall, rebuild, and rise again. But the turning point of her story came in 2014, when she served 11 months in prison for fraud, while her then-husband Joe Giudice served 41 months. When he was released, Joe wasn't returning home. Instead, he was deported, first to Italy, then settling in the Bahamas. The marriage couldn't survive the distance, the pressure, and the years of public scrutiny. By 2020, their divorce was finalized, marking the end of a long and painful chapter. But endings often lead to unexpected beginnings. And Teresa's biggest twist came when she wasn't looking for love at all. It happened at the Jersey Shore, during a casual walk with a friend. A stranger jogged past her not once, not twice, but several times, almost as if fate kept nudging them into the same space. That stranger was Giudice Louie Ruelas. Later that morning, as he packed up his car to leave, he introduced himself and handed out his business card. He drove away, but not for long. Moments later, his car pulled back up beside Teresa. Louie rolled down the window and said, "Teresa, my son wants to know why I didn't ask for your number." Teresa joked that she'd text him later, but before she could, her friend grabbed her phone, typed the first message, and hit send. That small moment set off a chain of events that would change Teresa's entire life. By August 2022, Teresa and Louie were standing at the altar in one of the most over-the-top weddings New Jersey had ever seen. Over 200 guests, a gown that looked like a fairy tale come alive, and a hairstyle so massive it required 1,500 bobby pins and cost nearly $10,000. The wedding wasn't just glamorous, it was a spectacle, the kind of event Housewives fans still talk about. But even more talked about was something the wedding lacked: a prenup. When Andy Cohen asked Teresa about it on Watch What Happens Live, she casually admitted that she and Louie had no plans to sign one. Fans panicked. Critics called it reckless. But Teresa remained steady, insisting she didn't need one because what they shared was true love. True love, however, doesn't silence headlines, and it definitely doesn't erase financial records. Months after their wedding, news broke that Teresa and Louie owed over $3 million in combined taxes. Bravo fans immediately spiraled, fearing Teresa might be sliding into the same financial dangers she once barely escaped. After everything she survived, seeing her name tied to tax drama again sent a wave of concern through the fan base. Was history repeating itself? Was Louie truly the financial partner he claimed to be? Was this just a misunderstanding, or a sign of something darker? Giudice quickly stepped in to protect her mother, using her podcast Casual Chaos to reassure fans that everything was under control. Her calm confidence eased some concerns, but not all. Because in the background, another layer of controversy followed Louie. Accusations made by an ex-fiancé claiming he had been physically abusive. Louie denied every part of it, calling the claims lies from angry exes seeking attention. "There's no physical violence. There's no truth to that," he said. Still, rumors don't disappear overnight, and fans weren't sure what to believe. Despite everything, Teresa's daughters have stood by Louie. Gia has spoken openly about how well Louie treats her and her siblings, calling him an amazing stepfather. Their support has been one of the strongest pillars in Teresa's life, especially as more drama swirls around her marriage. But behind the scenes, away from cameras, away from Instagram posts, there are cracks in the story, subtle tensions, and whispers from insiders hinting that the next chapter might be the most shocking one yet. almost invisible under the glow of Teresa's glamorous lifestyle, but cracks that grow louder when the cameras aren't rolling. Behind the scenes, rumors have been circulating about tension between Teresa and Louie. Tension that no amount of Instagram quotes or carefully curated family photos can fully hide. Insiders describe moments where Louie's temper flares, moments where Teresa feels pressure to defend him publicly, even when privately she's overwhelmed. These small fractures begin to add up, raising eyebrows among those closest to her. Some claim Teresa has been more emotional this season, more protective, more defensive, traits that usually signal something deeper unfolding behind closed doors. Fans began to notice changes too. Teresa's tone on social media has shifted. The quotable, lighthearted posts have been replaced with messages about loyalty, trust, and knowing who has your back. And whenever a housewife starts posting about loyalty, something is happening. Even Bravo editors who love to stir the pot have cut trailer moments that hint at emotional breakdowns, tense arguments, and conversations Teresa would have never allowed in past seasons. Whatever is happening at home has begun bleeding into filming, and audiences can feel it. Yet for every rumor, Teresa pushes back twice as hard. She refuses to let the public define her marriage, and she refuses to look like she's losing control again. After everything she's survived, the prison sentence, the deportation of her ex-husband, the years of humiliation and judgment, she's determined not to let the world see cracks in her new chapter. More importantly, she doesn't want her daughters to relive the trauma of their past. Teresa wants stability. She wants peace. She wants this to work, and that desire makes every new headline sting even more deeply. But even with her determination, the controversies continue stacking up. Financial experts online have dissected the tax situation, arguing that the amount owed isn't just a simple oversight. Fans debate whether Louie is pulling Teresa into another storm, intentionally or not. And every time a new article surfaces, it becomes harder for Teresa to escape the shadows of her past. She knows the world is watching. She knows Bravo fans never forget. And she knows one wrong move could send her entire life spiraling again. Still, Teresa insists that she trusts Louie with her whole heart. She calls him her soulmate, her protector, her person. But trust, especially in the Bravo universe, is fragile. One rumor can undo years of loyalty. One misstep can spark a headline that floods every housewife's account online. One emotional moment on camera can shift fan opinion for an entire season. And Teresa is walking through all of this with cameras capturing every second. At the same time, Louie seems desperate to prove himself, to Teresa, to the fans, to the entire Bravo world. He speaks passionately about wanting to be a good husband, a good stepfather, a good provider. He acknowledges his past relationships were messy, but he insists he has nothing to hide. He tries to present confidence, but sometimes that confidence reads as pressure, even urgency. And fans can feel it. They can sense the tension beneath the surface, the unspoken concerns, the fear that something is coming. The conversations between Teresa and her inner circle have also become more intense. According to insiders, some of her friends have quietly expressed caution. Not out of judgment, but out of love. They don't want to see her fall again. They don't want her to lose everything she rebuilt. They don't want history to repeat itself. And Teresa listens, but only to a point. Because no matter how loud the voices around her become, the loudest voice remains the one inside her, the one that wants to believe she finally found her forever partner. But here's the reality. Bravo history has taught us one thing. No relationship, no storyline, no chapter stays perfect forever. And Teresa and Louie's story is still unfolding. Their love is real, their connection is powerful, but their journey is far from simple. The couple is standing at a crossroads, balancing love against pressure, loyalty against fear, public image against private truth. The world is watching, and the stakes are higher than ever. Whether they rise above the noise or crumble under it will depend on what happens next. Behind the cameras, behind the headlines, and behind the curtain of Teresa Giudice's life. What we do know is this. Teresa has survived every storm life has thrown at her, and she has done it with resilience, passion, and a fire that never fades. And whatever comes next in her marriage to Louie, she will face it the same way she always has, with strength, with conviction, and with a heart that refuses to break. And as the next season of her life begins, one thing is guaranteed. The story of Teresa and Louie isn't finished. It's just getting started. Their love is complicated, dramatic, passionate, and unpredictable, the perfect Bravo storm. And fans will be watching every twist, every turn, every triumph, and every heartbreak. Because when it comes to Teresa Giudice, the truth is simple. Her story is never boring, and the next chapter may be the most explosive one yet. This is Teresa's world, messy, magical, chaotic, glamorous, and we are all just waiting to see what happens next.